our YouTube page as well in there. So, hello everyone. This is not our first webinar that we're doing. It's not only about PowerFab. So for those ones who came here and watched our all previous webinars, welcome back. But today we're going to focus on the most probably exciting feature that came up recently to the PowerFab portfolio is the connected feature. And we'll talk about and show how it integrates into you as a fabricator and to you as detailers as well who are joining in. So you kind of know the workflow, what you can actually do about it, and what's the possibilities with it. And as I always say, it not only helps for the fab shop, but it also helps for the detailers, because the fabricator who's using PowerFab will be in search of the detailers who have Tekla structures on them because of the collaborative workflow that now is being introduced. To take us through the more in-depth detailed environments, I will hand it to my colleague Brett, who will get a more in-depth show and tell basically about the whole workflow. What we will be going through in here, a quick agenda, is the overview of PowerFab. So a few slides, very brief, very quick, for those who doesn't know what PowerFab is, what it's capable of, the advantages of PowerFab, and where you maybe be jumping on and using it. And I'll do a very quick and short kind of live demo of how I, as a detailer, used to bundle up all the PDF, NC files, and so forth, and then zipped it up and then send it to the fabricator. And then Brett will go through what's with the new connector, why is it much easier to do it in this way, saving time and saving energy and communication to just have that all bundled up, ready for dispatch to the fabricator. And throughout the course of this webinar, if you want to post your questions in the Q&A section, which should be somewhere at the top of your Q&As, if you type in a question there, or even if you put it in the chat as well, me or Brett in the meantime will be looking at those. Depending on how much time will be left, we will answer these as much as we can now. If not, then we'll follow up on all of these questions, or most of these questions, after the webinar. So definitely, if you have a question, just shoot it up, and we'll try to answer those. And now I'll pass it on to Brett to get a quick explanation about PowerFab. And because I'm controlling the slides from my end, Brett, so just say when we need to change.
When we're ready. Yep, no problems. All right. Okay. Welcome everywhere. Good attendance. Hopefully, yeah, we can live up to expectations. But yeah, so Tekla PowerFab, for those that don't know, is a Trimble product. Trimble purchased it in 2018. The product at the time was Fab Suite. So they put 6 or so, 7 years of development into creating Tekla PowerFab. So it's a structural steel MIS, or material information system. So it works from estimating through procurement, right through to production and site installation. So yeah, if you want to move on, Andrius. So the suite comes in different packages. So there's a base unit, which includes a graphite license of Tekla structures, Tekla PowerFab for the desktop users, so our project managers, our procurement people who are working inside the production office, and PowerFab Go, which is our tool for updating data live on the floor. So we do our production tracking through our tablets. It updates the status of those items in the system, so we can see where we're at on either procurement or production or delivery on any of those items at any stage of the project. The structures license, or the graphite license, is predominantly there for ESTA modeling. So yeah, we can use the modeling because it's a data-rich source. So rather than sitting and typing into an Excel spreadsheet, we can create those items as a model and then use parametrics, or we can use the Tekla connections to add welds, add holes, things like that too there. Yeah, so if you want to move on, Andrius. So with the new connector, so in 2025, one of the biggest things, or one of the holdbacks on any MIS or MRP system has always been, are the grades correct? Are the sizes correct? Can we actually purchase those items? Can we get those things? So with the connector, it works through Tekla, from Tekla PowerFab through Tekla Structures and back to Tekla PowerFab again. So when we create a project in Tekla PowerFab, we invite our detailer to that project. They load us up as their fabricator. They see our product catalog, so they know exactly what we can procure, what we can purchase in that area, and then we can validate that model against the detailer's items. Then when we're issuing the packages, it's a rather than the traditional pull it out of Tekla Structures, email a zip file to the fabricator, and that it's a live interaction, or it's an interaction through the cloud on the Trimble Connect, or connecting with the Trimble Connect server. So it'll come straight into Tekla PowerFab. We'll get notification that there's a new submittal from the detailer without having to leave our project as we're working in it. So if we go to the next one. So yeah, like I said, it's a full one. We'll just quickly go through here. So yeah, your model visualization back with Trimble Connect, from estimating through purchasing, your optimization for cut lists, things, and purchasing, right through the shop floor on the tablets, shipping and shipping manifests, and through the dashboard, so we can see hours and tons completed on the job. So duck through again.
Yep.
All right, now we'll go through the demo. So that's a very brief overview of PowerFab. Yeah, if anyone does want to see more, yeah, we can certainly send some more information or do a demo on how what PowerFab fully encompasses.
Yeah, thanks, Brett, for that. Yeah, so we kind of split it up to see like the detailers we joined in. So I just wanted to kind of show and emphasize like what I was been doing and probably usual workflow. So let's say you select a few, let's say there's a few columns when you do it, and you create your fabrication drawings, your assemblies, your single parts as well. Within the software, you click create, you have those PDFs ready. Then when it's time to create NC files, again, you select those members. You go into your export mode. You select NC files. You go in here and export. Select what kind of, again, settings you need here, in here, and so forth. Then when it's time to bundle up some reports, you go to the reporting of it. You select which ones you need to, some Excel spreadsheets, PDFs, and so forth, whatever the fabricator at that point asks for you. And then if you need DXF files, again, you then need to go and convert the NC files to DXF. Later on, you take your PDFs, your report files, your CNC files, you bundle it up in a folder, nicely, tightly within this structure. So you report the single parts, drawings, NC files. If you needed the DXF files in here as well, and any other file types that they might need, maybe a submittal list of what's included and what's not. Then you go back and then zip the folder, put it in an email, and send it through. And that's the usual way that probably everyone's doing. So that you might have some automation tools, maybe developed by some programmer and so forth. But from a detailer's perspective, with the new connector, which is in the PowerFab in 2025 version here in Tekla, just from a detailer's view, I just want to show like quickly what kind of changes is when you select the fabricator. So you can see here, it's your normal, yeah. So your profile, material, finish, nothing. This is the standard one, so I can just select it from a list, either material or finish. Nothing too difficult from here. But then if I go in and select the fabricator, and then apply these changes, so you'll see a few things change directly in there. So a fabricator is all the settings that Brett as a fabricator created and invited me to basically to his shop with his available profiles and materials and finishes and so forth. So what it actually did, it popped up even a notification here that something changed. If I now quickly select a member now, so there's a few changes here. So my finish appeared to only be available those ones that are available from the fabricator. And then I can just click and choose which one I want from here. I don't need to type it in as of that. If I go to the materials section, I can, let's say, untick all profiles, and it only the profiles that the fabricator has appears here. So I eliminated the, let's say, the risk of using unstandard profiles that the fabricator may not have. If I start using some, let's even with the materials, so if I start using some unavailable materials from his side, I tend to see this exclamation mark straight away. This is let's say a missing material. It's the same thing with the profile. If I put in any existing profile like that error pops up here straight away as well. And the other thing, if I join, let's say after a while, that is the validate model button basically, and I can select either all objects, I can select selected objects, or even filtered by some additional filter. Even without compiling any packages, sending in, I can actually see what kind of errors I'm having. So this is a demo model. It's very simple and really out of the place. All the profiles and materials are not based on any real project in those. But straight away I can see here like which ones are. So if this is an invalid material for the profile, it's invalid profile. If I select it, it highlights within the model which ones are here. So this is something that's like just straight from in the box what I can as a detailer see without even going into the more advanced things that Brett will go in a few moments. And again, you can have also separate fabricators in here. So if you have a list with the fabricators that you deal with, you just before even on the same project, if you're working with a portion of it, so phase 1 would be a portion of the building on the right side, I can send that to one fabricator, phase 2 on the left, on the different fabricator. And all of these will have different elements within there. So even here, if I selected this, straight away the material and profiles are incorrect in that way. But yeah, so this is a very short one, what I wanted to see. And for a bigger, more in-depth, I'll stop sharing, and then Brett, you can then take over.
Right. Yeah. Thanks, Andrius. Yeah, so I'll put my screen up. So yeah, so just a simple basic model from myself here that I've been using for a lot of demos going through as well. And because I'm doing a lot, I'm getting the different fabricators coming through and going through on these different things. But I've just selected this by the phase. Like Andrius said, you can select. So if you've already worked with a fabricator, when you set up your project properties, in your project setup, you've got your select fabricator automatically in there. So, and what they will do is link you to in Tekla PowerFab. So in their project management area, if I open the job, I've created a Trimble Connect project under my project management area, and then I've just invited my detailers, myself and Andrius, to this project. So we're both linked to that Trimble Connect project, or we're all linked to that one Trimble Connect project via this project management area. So now when I go through back to structures, if I select this area and then I want to go to, so I've already got my fabricated selected. So we're already in there as the fabricator, so we're seeing the profiles go through. That comes up on the wrong screen. Yeah, so my profiles are coming through. If I go to my profile catalog, I'm only seeing the profile catalog for that. If I tick off the show all, I'm only seeing the profiles for that one. I can tick it on and show all. So if there is things, so if they don't have grading, if they don't have handrails or something in there, then we can still go through and show all the Tekla library and add those items in, and then we just need to add those in as on PowerFab as well. On that side, just go that there's different items in here that we need to go through, because the library is going to grow. There is things that are out of the box that we don't have in here, like read bars, things like that. We can develop those or put those products in there later on as people get to use or go to use them. So I've selected against that item, as Andrius showed. With the validate model, I've already done that validating, so I can go through. And I've done phase 1, I've done phase 2. I can submit the fabricator, and I get the Tekla PowerFab screen coming up. So I've got different options here. So estimating is the IFC, like we discussed before. With the graphite license, I can create that esti model and push it through to send it off to the fabricator. So I don't know, with the detailers, not that you'll ever be looking for work, but there is the opportunity to go, well, we can create an esti model for you from items, and you can go through and we can send that to you. Procurement. So this is if we want to get ahead of the game and have material ready to go, so we can create ABM or advanced bill of material numbering within the model. So we can set a model numbering. It'll recognize the GUID from Tekla structures all the way through, because the unique identifier doesn't change all the way through. So once a column's in a position, or a rafter or a beam's in a position, it stays with it. So with that procurement, we can have an ABM number 1, ABM number 2, ABM number 3. When we go through and we get the issued for construction job, and we've already procured against those items, it recognises that we've purchased this as an ABM 3 against that GUID, and we'll nest against those items in the job further down the track as we get that IFC release through. Drawings for external approval, so 5131, where we've got to have all our transmittals and everything going through. So if we issue the drawings, we can, it's only issuing drawings out. So if it's IFA, send it to the fabricator. We can then create transmittals from PowerFab to send off to the engineer for approvals and things like that. So, and then get those back with our notes and send it back, or mark up that transmittal or that submittal from the detailer to the fabricator with any notes that were given to us. Send drawings back to the detailer on another transmittal to say, approved as noted, or approved for construction. And fabrication is fabrication. So this is where we're getting. So within our fabrication, if we set this up, it's giving us what Andrius was wanting to put in his package before. It's giving us an XML, which is our full bill of materials, which is probably you're using your assembly parts list or something and sending that to a client. They're cutting and pasting it, putting it into an Excel spreadsheet to create a control sheet to go through tracking things through the workshop. It also gives us all our PDF drawings, links to those, so they will link into the project when we import it, so we can see all the drawings from PowerFab, either in the PowerFab desktop version or with the guys on the workshop floor. They can open the drawings on the tablets and see the drawings from the tablets there as well. And they also have the link. It also has the Trimble, the .trb file. So if the detailer is creating or has created the Trimble Connect project or is loading up the IFC to the Trimble Connect project, that's fine. We can still export the .trb file and it'll just overlay, and you can choose the levels or the layers that you want to see within the Trimble Connect. And it'll also, if there's any changes from one version to another, it'll overlay those models so you can see a visual of what's changed. So if a 360 UV's changed to a 410, you'll get that overlay visual of those things in your IFCs or in your Trimble Connect project. So yeah, and so all your drawings are linked, and your NC files are all linked there as well. If you've got DXFs, or if you've got people that require DXF, you can create those and point those and put them in the NC files as well. We want to keep it. So the thing I've found or going through since coming in or doing this is, like Andrius shows, we're creating folders upon folders upon folders upon folders of where we're putting things. With the connector, the simpler is the better. Like Tekla Structures and Tekla PowerFab are our smart tools. We don't need to do too much with them, so we can our assembly drawings, if we just let them print to the default folder that it's going to go to. So when we print our drawings, it's going to go to that PDF folder. We've set this up as our default settings in the Australian environment, and the single parts are going to go to that default folder as well. So we're not having to point this every time. So if we overcomplicate this, what we've got to do is change this setting every time. But if we just let the systems do what the systems want to do in putting the PDFs into the PDF folder, the only thing that would be different here is if you've got if you want to number the assembly drawing and the main part as the same number, so that when it like if you're etching off the machines or anything like that, and you're etching a main part number on it, then you want to have it as your B100 or your C100 or whatever. Then we would just have a single parts drawing and assemblies after these, or in the file names after these, so that, and that's where we would print these too, because we're not going to be able to get two C1s in the one folder. So we just need to separate that these are our assembly drawings and these are our single part drawings. Hopefully everyone understands that. And your UDAs, if you want to include those, so user defined attributes. So when we go into PowerFab, and we'll do we can do another webinar later on. We're only going to do the connector at this point, but we set production routes within the system. We can have production codes within the system. So production codes will give me kind of hourly rates for different types of materials. So I've got beam mediums, beam heavies, beam lights. So when I bring in that in, it matches up against those UDAs, and it'll put hours into my production schedule, into my production control job, so I can see how many hours are actually within that job, and then we can use those for production scheduling further down the track. We can also do shipping routes. So if we've got, if we don't paint internally, and we've got sub paint items, so if we can put that it's a sub paint shipping route, or it's a galvanized shipping route, things like that. So if the fabricator and the detailer work closely together, then we can set this up so that as soon as it's imported, we know what production route it's going, what's going to the saws, what's going to fabrication, what needs to go to different weld areas and things like that. So on import, the job's ready to go if we work together with it. NC files, again, using that one folder for just those NC files, because again, let the system work it out for you. Because if we filter these items down, so if I go and save that, I'll close that, and I'm back in here. So I'm just going to select from objects in the model, because I'm going to go back. Yeah, still selected from the model. So I'm just issuing phase 3, so I can go in and name this. So the biggest thing is, if you want to do something manual, then just give it the project number, and phase 3, just so that you know what's going through. And we just want the project. So select. Yeah, so selected from the model where it's going, the folder it's going to. And even if you're not working with a PowerFab user, so this export only will create that file, and I'll show you the file once we've exported it as well. So if you just did the export only, yeah, haven't done full numbering for the whole job, yeah, that's fine. And yeah, don't panic with these. And the CNC file's missing. There's no CNC files for anchor rods or anything like that, so you will get those errors. You do get a log come through, so you can see what errors are going through. So, you know, sometimes I'm getting the guys going, there's items missing. So you can either do the view log from here or the view log from Tekla PowerFab as to, you know, what didn't come through, or if things didn't come through, or what didn't work. Often it's, you know, can be a numbering issue or within the model, and it's just yeah. Again, the system telling us where we've gone wrong or where we haven't gone wrong. So that upload progress is at 100%. So it'll open up my submittal history. I can go through and see all the submittals that have been done for this project against the project number. If I click out of the back screen, I can also see, so, you know, my phase ones here, selected in model, it'll show me what was submitted with that package, or it'll highlight what was submitted in that package. So you're getting, yeah, when they get what was come through. So these unavailables have already been imported, but I can see what was submitted with that, and this is the one we've just done now. So where we've submitted. So yeah, if you want to know where you had it submitted, then it's all part of that, or what you've issued. And like I say, even if you don't, you're not issuing it to a PowerFab user, like, we can use this and, you know, hopefully simplify the process that you've got to go through in getting that folder or that file, like Andrius showed you on how he used to do it, and probably you guys are doing it as well. So under Tekla PowerFab in your model folder, you'll get your fabrication thing. So this would be, these are just the zip file, the PFXD file. So if you go into your 7-zip, I don't want to compress it. Why is it not working now? 7-zip. Sorry about that. It's decided to go. So there. Well, that one will be better. If I select the right one, it would probably be select the right file. So yeah, it's bundled together. So it's given me the Trimble file. The XML is my my bill of materials, and all my CNC files separated into plates and shafts to go through on that item. All my PDF drawings bundled, so assemblies and single parts. So yeah, I don't know how much further you need to break it down, but if yeah, I've got my phase one, I'm on phase 3 items, and they're all done from sorting, from selecting from the model, of getting those things through. And then in the PowerFab side of things, I'll move across to here. So again, it's all linked to this project management and all through the Trimble Connect from the PowerFab side. If I go to maintenance, so I do have what we have in automated events. So every 15 minutes, it's looking for a transmittal or a submittal from Tekla structures. So I don't have to go through and look for these items. I can be in my production control area, and it will come up in the screen. So if I'm in the job, I'll get this outstanding submittals come through. We've got a submittal to run in here. So this will be the phase 2. if I go through and check my submittals, I can sync them now. So if you ring up the fabricator and say, hey, I've just issued a variation on a job, it's going to affect some things, they can go straight in and sync the submittals within straight away, not having to wait for that automated event to run these items through. Again, so this procurement one, so again, like what I said with the advanced bill of materials, so this is prior to numbering. We can go through, and when we do a procurement, it'll give you preliminary numbers based on the system we want to have in place, so, or what the fabricator wants. Default out of the box is ABM dash or ABM numbers going through. Estimating is all that, the estimating IFC, so it's going to have all our connections and everything in there. So we've got our connections, our reports run. So yeah, so that's updated there. And then, yeah, so now we're in our job, we've got our submittals and we've seen those coming through. So what we've got to import, we can import that item. We don't have to leave our system. We don't have to go to an email, save it, that file to the system or to our server, then go and find that file and import it in there where we've got the chance of selecting the wrong file going through. If we just save that, it's already got the job number because we've got the job number, or because it's been submitted to that Trimble Connect project, it knows what we're going to do. We've got the options here to add and replace, add only, things like, so normally add and replace, so if there's any issues going through, it'll upload any new things. And again, here it's where I'm getting these production codes or the mapping of these items. So where I was saying about the user-defined field, so if I go to production codes, so I've got my production route set up as my parts, shop paint, shop unpainted, my production code is beam heavy, beam light, beam medium, and I've got my shipping route set up as galvanizers and subcontract painters. So we're looking at those user-defined fields to bring those items in so that it's automatically done as soon as we come through. This screen is our change management screen. So we've got a few changes here. The drawing numbers change. So what issues have gone through? Got a duplicate piece mark here, so I could send this. So I could cancel this import and send that back to the detailer and say, hey, listen, check B7. There's a duplicate piece mark somewhere in there. It'll save, like, and so it'll allow me to do that, and it'll save for later. We can go back through and go through those items. So yeah, we've got a couple of duplicate piece marks within here that I can go back to the fabricator. So I can continue that, and it'll automatically put those on hold. Within the system. So I can continue on with the rest of the job. I don't have to, stop that, but I can still go back to the detailer because it'll give me my logs files as well. I can send the problem files back to the detailer, and they can go through and search those items for what's missing. But it's popped it on hold here. So somewhere in here, I've got a, it could be that round up, round down on plates and things like that, but I can go through and send those logs back. If I go into production control, I get those in my document index. I've got my import templates in order, so if I open that file, bring it across, and these are live things, so I can go in and see what my problems are. So it'll show me that, where my later, what my changes are, what my warnings were within there, and I can send these back to the detailer to go we've had issues with some of these items and what broken links or anything we've got, and what the main summary of, and the full summary will give me also how many assemblies we've added on this import, how many files were missing. So yeah, I can go back and go, there was 4 files missing. Do you know what these were, or whatever? Yeah, so that's about it. So that's the process with the under the modern, or with the connector for getting those things through. So those pending changes. So once, and it'll bring up this review pending changes for what we've got. So you know, it'll open up just the items that have gone through and tell us. So it seems to be that they fixed themselves up going through. So it must have, when I brought it in, it's changed it to from, so it's done a translation and changed that part to plate rather than FLs as they've gone through. So it's fixed itself up. I've gone through and run that, and now the transmitter's gone through and cleaned that all up, or that change management screen has cleaned that all up. So nothing's on hold now for those items, because yeah, so on those imports or on those translations. So, and that's another thing with modern, because we're getting a lot, yeah, I was talking to someone yesterday at the ASI convention. Everything used to be cut on a cropper and punched. So a lot of flat bars on coals and punching holes, because we wanted to get ahead on those things. Nowadays, everything's either laser cut or plasma cut on those plate side of things. So it's very often now that we don't want to see those plate items. So I've created a translation on plate items to make them into from flat items to make them into plate items when they come in, because I'm just going to send them off either to a subcontract laser company, or I'm going to process them in-house. So there's a lot of things we can do on both sides here that just make it easier for a fabricator and a detailer to get the right information to a fabricator, and a fabricator to, you know, adjust any information that they need to go through, because a lot of the things, but with our CC3 work, you know, we can't be ordering C350 yellow UVs. You know, if we get audited on that and we put a purchase order out with the wrong grade on those items and receive an item as a 300 plus, yeah, the auditor's going to go, well, hang on, we've done something wrong here. So it's got to be accurate data, and the way the industry is now, data is the key. We are pushing data through. We want to be able to see on the Trimble Connect model where things are in the production process and things like that. So yeah, you're getting that accurate information, and that's why that connector was created. And it was a lot of it was the thought of, there is a lot of external and we're even international detailing companies that we're using, giving them more of an understanding of what products we use and what they can use to put it through. So yeah, it is probably the best tool I've seen in software, and I've been in software for 20 years, in how it's going to benefit both sides of the production process here. But that's about it. I probably went on a little bit more, or went a little bit more in depth into the import side of things and that change management. But yeah, so probably back over to you, Andrius, and yeah, if there's any questions or.
Yeah, we kind of tried to make it a shorter one, because again, as Brett said, so this is there's a long list of functionality within PowerFab what to go through. We kind of wanted to focus on what's just a very short, like how is it available and useful for both parties on both ends. And yeah, if anyone has a question, as of now, because I saw Herman send one. Can we separate the folders of assembly drawings by paper sizes? So from Tekla structures, at least printing out, so it automatically probably won't do it, as far as I know. I'm not sure in the PowerFab, but is there any feature in there?
No, we're not. We're only reading, but from the drawing numbers, and also the revision. So if we've got a revision 0 and a revision 1, and the latest revision is revision 1 coming through, then we're just going to look for a revision 1 folder or create a revision 1 folder. So yeah, it's not going to look on paper sizes for those going through, and that's it. There is where I have had queries about the suppliers want all the drawings bundled together in the one PDF or whatever. So yeah, these are all separate PDFs. In the PowerFab, there is the ability to create a zip file from a requisition to send off to suppliers, where it'll zip everything, all the drawings together, and all the NC files to send off. So yeah, we're at that point, but not with the whole bundling or multiple drawings in a PDF file.
Yep. There's another one from John. I'm not sure if you, Brett, can see it. So aside from PDF and NC, can we send other files such as DXF?
Yeah, the DXFs are available. It used to be either or, but I'm not sure now. If you put the DXF, or if you create the DXFs and put them into that NC file folder, then yeah, they will import in there as well. And we can also import manually over the top in PowerFab as well. So yeah, a lot of the majority of the machines now will read the NCs. DXFs, I did work for a laser company, and they don't like the crosshairs and things like that. So the DXF was becoming a bit obsolete on the machine side of things, because the NC file was a lot cleaner in putting it through to the machines.
Yep. Any more questions? Again, we will send a recording link to this. You feel free to either reply or just reach out to any of us, any of the building point stuff, and eventually we will get to either me or Brett around any questions that are going to appear later on.
Yeah, we're happy. At least we just wanted to cover off on this connector as from the detailers and the fabricators' perspective of the new integrations and the links in there. So it is, we want it to be fairly simple. So what I've discovered in a lot of things is the folder creation and things like that is a time-consuming part for the detailer, so that they can issue those drawings and everything to the fabricator. So yeah, even from that perspective, if the PFX default, so you can export that as a zip file if you want, or you can just change the handle to a zip file or the extension to a zip file and send that through to a fabricator all as the bundle that you're normally sending them, even if they're not using PowerFab. But yeah, if they're not, get out there and promote it, tell them to use PowerFab. So we want, again, like Andrius said, if they're using Tekla PowerFab, they'll be wanting Tekla structures detailers, purely because of this capability and set. And as they keep developing more and more, we're going to integrate more and more. So all our live collaborations, and there's also feedback from PowerFab now, so I can feed back to the model here, and it'll tell me, the fabricator, where things are, if they're in production, if they're in procurement, things like that as well. But that's we'll do that in another webinar later on. And
there will be, we haven't touched much to Trimble Connect, which is becoming the central part of all the Trimble products coming in. So there is this called status sharing within. So anytime a fabricator, let's say, he receives a package, he starts working on some of those members on plates. He can mark those within Trimble Connect project by itself, and then at each given moment, all the stakeholders that are invited to that Trimble Connect project, either the detailer, the project manager, the engineer, the site guys. So they, at any given time and moment, they can actually visualize which columns, which beams and plates are in production, haven't been started, finished off, or just overall have some errors and are put on pause. So, but we will be doing a separate webinar about Trimble Connect. We'll try to make that a more in-depth one, because it's come a very long way. It has so many new features. So every time we do a demonstration of Trimble Connect, everyone's quite surprised how many features it has that they didn't even thought about. Another question from Michael. As a fabricator, who do we share? How do we share our catalogs and grades with external detailers?
So the same again. So same as what we did with me and Andrius. So yeah, so in PowerFab, so we've got our address books. So create a firm as a detailer. That open up. So yeah, as soon as I put in a detailer, it's and a subcontractor, I can do the information that I want to share. So I can share my shape, grade, sizes, my finish, and my my advanced bill of material settings. So I'm getting all those sending through. Don't have to send them all, but you can. No harm in doing it to send it all through. So yeah, then when they connect to you as a fabricator, they will get that in Tekla Structures will do the parametrics of what you've got in your system. So yeah, just in your address book, create your detailers. If you get a new detailer, you just put them in. And so then they should have you as a fabricator moving forward on those. So yeah, every time you'll be able to load them up with their latest settings and things. So if they add new items, it'll do the parametric or do that update to the fabricator every time you every time they allocate you as a fabricator in that project.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there's one more question messed up. Can the link to different detailers be altered between estimating submittal to fabrication submittal, or is it one for one only?
It can be. I would imagine it could be. So yeah, but they're because it's running through that Trimble Connect project. So on the estimating side, like chances are you're only going to do a submittal and export only at that level, because you're not going to create a project management job for every estimate. So we're just going to do an export only on those ones out. So on the procurement one, like you can have multiple people, like, so it's set up as a detailing firm, and all that information we're sending up is to the whole firm. So I don't think you're going to have multiple firms working at different levels on it. I think that's how the question is. Like, so if you've got different people model sharing, then yeah, they can do different levels under the same firm. So because they're invited to that Trimble Connect project, but yeah, you're not going to get that. Yeah, but if you did, someone went, oh yeah, I'm not detailing it anymore, and you got the model and gave it to someone else, then you could certainly allocate them all your information and that as well. But yeah, if it's model sharing and it's to the one firm, then every detailer who's under that firm will have access to be able to put your information in there.
If you need more information, Luke, then yeah, just reach out. After the webinar, we can have a chat, organize a day. And yeah, then the other thing, even with from the detailer's perspective, with the submittal history, so it has, you can see if a fabricator accepted your package or it has any notes given it to them, just straight from the Tekla structures page as well. Just how that information can like straight away be if you started working on the job or not. If he didn't accept the job, then like maybe something's wrong from that point of view. Yeah, I don't think something else popping up.
No. No. So yeah. Yeah, and probably probably for everyone here, like Q1 2025. So there's integrations with a new product that is coming under the Building Point Australia banner called Project Site, and it's going to integrate. It's currently integrating with Tekla PowerFab as well. So that one's going to be a pretty big update as well in the project management space and job costing, document control sort of thing. So yeah, watch this space, Q1 2025 when we take that on. Yeah, we'll get our project site team and Tekla Structures and PowerFab in together to show how that integration works.
Yeah, that might be a longer one as well. We'll try to match up all the softwares into that workflow.
Yeah, Q1 2026. Thanks, Rob Leeds. We're behind you.
Someone listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right then. Thanks, Brett. Thank you everyone for joining in. As I said in the beginning, this is a series of webinars that we're going through. The next ones probably will be Trimble Connect, but also with Tekla Structures, reinforcement still more to come, and more integrations in there. So again, do go to the LinkedIn page of Building Point Australia. That's the quickest way to get all the information what we're working on. Just before even the email shoutouts, you'll see a post in there. Yeah, and yeah, thanks again.
Again, yeah, and any questions? Yeah, shoot them through. Happy to go through. ETA.
We haven't decided yet, but it will be, I'm guessing, the end of October or just the beginning of November, because we have a few events coming up, and it's just with the time squeeze, it's hard to jump on. But if you, again, for the Trimble Connect demo, if you want it as a face-by-face with a specific topic, then just reach out as well. All right. Cheers, everyone.
Okay.
A productive week ahead.
Thursday. Come on Friday.
Yeah.